It was a little bit different opening up first week of conference with our split week and playing, coming off a tough travel weekend and then heading right into Montana State. We were so grateful for the fans that came out. It was just really an exciting environment to play in on Tuesday, which GrizCat always is, but that was one to remember for sure as far as just atmosphere. And I really felt like we started the match really strong, and I think for fans that were there saw a lot of good moments and a lot of really good potential as to where we are and where we can be, and then kind of saw that slip throughout the match as the match went on. But I'm really proud of this group for how we bounce back and how fast we learn. We headed on the road the next morning to Greeley and played Thursday night at Northern Colorado, and our first two sets were probably two of the best sets we've played all year. Northern Colorado's really hot. They're a really good team. They do a lot of things that expose some of our weaknesses, and I thought we hit our assignments and nailed our scouting report and just came out really, really well against them. And all but the third set. The third set got away from us. Just kind of a serving passing run that was similar to in our match against MSU. So I don't know, I was really encouraged by last week. I think we have a team that is really resilient. We're working on finding our success as it is defined within our group and just making sure that we're staying true to that and really not worrying about anything else, and we're keeping going. So it's still early and lots of things can happen, and we can find our stride any day, so we're excited about the next week.
The gal that I watched, the couple games that I've been to of your guys, it's just been unreal. It's Amethyst Harper.
Yeah.
And she's just a freshman, and you see her all the time smacking balls down. What have you seen from her, and how impressive is it that she's so young yet so good? Yeah,
she's definitely a fan favorite because she's such a high flyer. You watch her and it's really impressive. And, she kind of has that contagious, her enthusiasm and her athleticism is contagious. It fires you up as a fan and as a teammate, and definitely as a coach for sure. And I think we've seen her game, she was thrust into, she's in the L1 position, which means she's with the setter twice in the front row. And so she gets a lot of sets kind of in bad ball situations. And as a freshman, that's hard to be relied on in those situations consistently. So you've seen her game really evolve in the last, 5 weeks or however long we've been going. And these last 3 matches are the best that she's put together all season. And so to have a freshman be able to carry that kind of load, we knew we were going to have to rely on her like that because she does have that athleticism. And I think we've seen her figuring it out. And she's so fun in the gym. You tell her one thing, she fixes it on the next play. And so she's had to figure things out on the fly in matches, and for a freshman to be able to do that the way she has, and then now she's hitting, she hits 300 against Northern Colorado, and hits really well for 2 sets against MSU. I just think so much more potential is there, and she's a player that we really rally around. So she doesn't just do that attacking either. She's one of our best serve receivers. We've been putting her in the pattern even more, and then she blocks really well and dug really well against UNC. So yeah, she's really exciting.
What's something you want to see from your team this week?
Moving forward? Yeah, I think Eastern is a team that is also very new to themselves. They had a coaching turnover 2 years ago. This is Leslie's second season, and so they have a lot of new players and some transfers in, and so they're still getting used to themselves, and they're really well coached, but I think they're in a similar trajectory as we are. We're just a little bit further down that path where I think we have a few more things in place, and I think we can be the aggressors there and take over the momentum of the match. It's just kind of how I've been saying every week here. It's just we've got to put it together for an entire match, and I think everyone that's watched us, including, internally in our own practices, we see that it's just the consistency of finishing it through. And so we've got to find the gear to do that, and I think we can. I think Eastern is a team that's fast and has some ball control, but they're not as they don't control the ball as well as MSU. And so, but they're a team that does some similar things to them. So I think we can take that match and really use it. Same with UNC, they're faster as well. Use it to prepare for Eastern, but then know that we'll have a little bit of room to breathe and set our own tone as well. So it should be a really good match.
You hope some of your younger players especially, but the team as a whole took from the energy that kind of comes with a match like MSU, for later in the season. Is that kind of something that you guys are like, oh, we've been in this high pressure, high energy situation before, and you kind of take that moving forward in the season, or does it not really have any effect?
No, it does for sure. I think to come into our first conference match where, the band is loud and the fans are, the Griz Cat rivalry just brings out a whole nother level of Missoula and this, everything and every piece of that environment. And so I think for them to have that be their first experience of a conference game, just puts more urgency and makes them feel, I think, also a lot more supported too. I think they feel like people are in their corner, and even though we're not getting the results that we want and are working so hard for yet, I think there's a real gratitude and a real awareness about that people are supporting them, but also that they are held accountable by our fans too, that they need to be out there producing and figuring this out. And so I think that little bit of conflict, that responsibility, but also just the gratitude for that, that's what pressure is. And I think that's serving us really, really well. And it was tough to go right into MSU in that way, just to not really get our bearings or know what was coming for some of our freshmen. But for them to see that, I think will only benefit us in the next few matches for sure.
Soccer's in town, football's in town, cross country, golf. You talk a lot about just the Griz atmosphere, and this is one of those weekends. No,
it's an electric week for sure, and I think it's anytime we have multiple home events with multiple sports here, our fan base gets even more excited and comes out in higher numbers, and so I think all sports just are going to benefit this weekend from the enthusiasm for each of us individually, and then as a collective. It's just a great weekend to be a Griz, and so we'll see a lot of people come out, and we're excited.